On today's episode of the NordCast, we did our standings predictions. We talked Arber, Xhekaj, Patrick Laine, Cedric Pare, Jeremy Swayman, the NHL on Amazon series, and a lot of other stuff. It was one hell of a return for the NordCast. Here is episode 73.
Do people in Canada have cable like other people?
We keep this up in the playoffs. I don't care.
And at Chili's. Is it a Chili's? At Kyle's?
Achilles.
Finally.
You don't know that?
Fuck you! Get this guy the fuck out of here!
Alright, well, coming in at number 5, I got Anthony Stolars.
Now! Jets are winning the cup!
Thank you for watching and listening. What is up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the NordCast. It is Thursday, October 3rd, 2024. First off, we want to apologize by not uploading an episode last week. That is the first time the entire summer that we missed a week. We figured that we kind of wrapped up the division, or the conference predictions. We had Bartner on. We did a lot of the things we had to do, so we wanted to kind of just take a week and chill for a little bit. But we're back here yet again. I'm your host, Nordic, with Kata and just Carter. How we doing today, sir?
We're doing pretty well. Life's good. I'm happy. NHL starts tomorrow at 12 o'clock Central Time, right in the middle of one of my classes. Dad, if you're listening, I'm not going to watch. I'm going to be locked in, focused on whatever assignment I have to do.
Totally. It's like, Carter, it's like prime sports right now. Prime.
Yeah, we're about to hit a sports equinox. We got one on the 26th, I think, or 28th. It's somewhere, I think it's the 28th. We got a sports equinox, or maybe 29th. It's somewhere in that last week of October. We got a sports equinox. NHL, NBA, NFL, MLB as well. College football, yeah, we got everything. There's 55 straight days of football right now too. Starting today, 50, or I think it's sometime after today or whatever. 55 straight days of college football, or not college, just football in general. You know how awesome that is?
That's terrific for people who watch football.
Yeah, not you, but for me, yeah. I love football, and that's awesome to have. 55 straight days, yeah. There's always football on. And we're about to hit the point where every single day we're going to have at least some sort of hockey game. So
yes, and I'm so excited for that.
I agree.
I want to start off with the MLB playoffs. So again, we are a hockey podcast, but we're trying to branch out. There we go. We're trying to branch out to other sports. We did a little bit of MLB talk through the season. We talked some Phillies, talked some other teams, but we're in the playoffs now. The only thing that has to be determined from the wild card rounds right now is Game 3 between the Mets and the Brewers. The winner of that plays your Philadelphia Phillies, and I hate to break it to you guys, me and Carter are both Phillies fans, so this might be a little bit of a torture listening to this segment for a little bit. But Carter, it's playoff baseball time. It's Red October. Are you excited for some of these teams? Like, I know you're excited for the Phillies, but what's another team that, like, you kind of have seen in the headlines that you're kind of rooting for you a little bit?
There's no other team that I'm rooting for. I'll be honest with you.
Really?
No, it's Phillies or bust. Baseball is one of those sports where I don't really have any other teams because I'm not really into it. I kind of just got into the Phillies recently anyways. It's for me, it's Blue Jays or Phillies. I'm weird like that. I don't follow, or I don't like care about a lot of other teams. But a team that I am excited to watch is, I think the Kansas City Royals are going to give the Yankees a little bit of a run for their money.
I hope so.
I agree, because I think the Yankees, other than obviously the Dodgers, are the scariest team that we got right now. So
yep, I'm telling you right now, hashtag beat LA is what the mentality that I'm going with here. If the Padres beat the Dodgers, I'm going to be very happy. If the Phillies beat the Dodgers, I will be over the moon. So hopefully that will happen. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of LA. Carter, give me your World Series Who are the two teams you see coming out on top? You might want to look at the playoff bracket.
Oh
first.
no. I don't have to. So I will say this has been a horrible start for me. Every team that I picked in the first round got swept. They lost.
Christ.
So I am it is not a good look. I will say I think if the Royals can't pull it off against the Yankees, I don't see a team in that conference that is going to stop the New York Yankees. So I will take Yankees and Phillies in the World Series here.
That would be one hell of a. Oh my god.
That would be awesome.
Okay. We gotta ask what Jack says. By the way, Jack is not here. If you were wondering, he's not just sitting in a random college. No, he's not here. Probably at a volleyball tournament. If I had to give my World Series, I love the Phils. I'm gonna pick the Phils, but I'm so worried about that pitching. I'm worried about that consistency. That makes me really scared. I think that if they play LA, it's going to be one hell of a climb, let alone we got to play the Mets or the Brewers as well. I'm going to take the Phillies on the right side. I'm going to go give me the Detroit Tigers. A little bit of a hot take.
That's a great pick. That's a great pick.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of a hot take. Again, we are a Phillies podcast, so obviously we have, or especially when me and Carter here, we're a Phillies podcast. But we both have the Phillies. Carter has the Yanks, and I have the Tigers. All right, Carter, who's winning that series?
From what, the Tigers?
No, from the Yanks and the Phils.
Oh, I got that going to 7, and I got Phils in 7.
Ooh. Red October in Citizens Bank.
That would be kind of nice.
Too? Oh, I'm looking forward to that. I'm going to go Phillies as well. Man, this could really bite us in the ass if the Phils lose in the first round.
But everyone knows my track record with bets, man. With my predictions, it doesn't end well, so I should be avoiding the Phils. But man, you gotta have some belief.
The energy at Citizens Bank is peak. So
yes.
I'm just saying. We'll post this on Instagram. You guys get to see Jax too when that happens. But yeah, pretty good time for playoff baseball right now. I'm sure next week we'll get a little bit of a clearer picture on what that looks like right now. But I want to go to the NHL, and I want to talk about the elephant in the room right now, Jeremy Swayman and the Boston Bruins. Now, there have been a lot of things that have been going on over the last couple of days involving Swayman, involving the Bruins. It really does not look like he's going to be playing opening night. He's going to be signed by opening night. It looks like this could drag on for a while into the season. It does look like that. Now, on Monday of this past week, there was a press conference with Cam Neely, Jim Montgomery, Don Sweeney, and the Jacobs family, which is the owner of the Bruins. And somebody asked Neely, what is like the range? What are you guys offering Swayman? What does Swayman want? And Neely said, well, I don't want to get into the weeds of what Swayman wants, but I would have 64 million reasons why I would be playing right now. And listen, I'm not that good at math. I would imagine Carter's that good at math either, but I would imagine that 64 divided by 8 is 8, right?
Or is this a 1-year deal?
All right. I saw that comment, Carter. You're not funny.
I just came up with that on the spot. I don't know what you're talking about. That is actually true.
0 out of 10 on original. Honestly, yeah, probably an 8x8 they were offering Swayman. First off, very unprofessional. You're really going out there and making that a public comment. Very, very unprofessional. I think that, yes, this is getting ugly. There have been a lot of disagreements here, but I think that's just so unprofessional to publicly announce something like that. And then we got the plot twist. Louis Gross, the agent for Jeremy Swayman, who was also the agent for William Nylander when those things went down, made a statement on Monday. And this is rare from someone like Gross. We don't see him coming out in the media that much for things like this, but he said this via his agent company. Normally, I do not release statements or discuss negotiations through the media, but in this case, I feel I need to defend my client. At today's press conference, $64 million was referenced. This is the first time that number was discussed in our negotiations prior to the press conference. No offer was made reaching that level. We are extremely disappointed. This is not fair to Jeremy. We will take a few days to discuss where we go from here. So actually, this is ugly. This has gotten really ugly. And you see the comment from Neely. These guys are bashing back and forth. And it came out, I think, the next day that they were apparently offering Swayman 7.8, which is not $8 million. It's only like 200,000 less, yes, but over the certain time of a period of an 8-year deal, that's about what, $2 million, $3 million that you're missing out on. Again, I'm not good at math, so I can't really determine that. But again, it's a really interesting situation right now. And then there were talks that Swayman was considering requesting a trade from Boston, which would really I think if that happened, I have a good feeling that Sweeney or somebody's going to get fired, because that would be absolutely catastrophic. Now, again, there's a big difference between actually requesting a trade and considering requesting a trade. So again, that's up in the air right now. The media ate that up, though, obviously. But Carter, gotta ask you, if you were in Swayman's situation right now, you had even we didn't even talk about what happened last year with the arbitration and stuff. Hypothetically, if the president of your organization, the president of your junior team, which congratulations, by the way, if the president of your junior team you were having a contract dispute with your team, and he came out and said something like that, and you and your agent were like, they never offered us that, would you be like, I want out? This is ridiculous. I can't believe the way they treated me. What would you do in that situation?
Well, I think you got to think of it as one, you're putting your obviously, no matter what, if let's say 8x8 was offered and he didn't sign it, and he signed it, obviously that's public knowledge now. But you say that you put that number out there. I don't see a world where Swayman would reject an 8x8. I think that's a very solid goaltender contract for one. He's a young up and coming goalie, right? He's proven that he can be Vezina caliber twice now. He did it when he was doing split time with Ullmark. We saw it there. We saw it this year when he was still doing kind of split time, but you could tell he was going to be leading into that starting role. And he did. He got them past the first round this year, his first real test of playoff hockey. And he did. He thrived. He threw it. I couldn't even speak there. He thrived and he flourished. Flourished. I don't know why I was adding a T. Anyways.
See, I suck at math. Carter sucks at speaking.
Yeah. Okay, Mr. Achilles. Pipe down over there.
Yeah, let's not.
So,
that's okay.
Yeah. So I don't see a world where Swayman rejects an 8x8. So if you're putting that number out there, your ass better be sure that that's what you offered him. Because one, that's going to, not only is that going to tarnish your reputation with Jeremy Swayman, that's going to tarnish your reputation with other future free agents. Because if he's going to put his franchise cornerstone goaltender in Jeremy Swayman out on blast like that, what do you think he's going to do to some third liner? One, he might not even bring him up. But two, he's going to lie his ass off because it's what does this guy mean? I can go grab another one of these guys for cheaper, right? But it's that relationship that you have with the player is what makes them want to stay. It's what makes them want to continue to be a Boston Bruin. It's what makes them want to continue to play for this organization. And, you say stuff like that, it's going to bite you in the ass in more ways than just your job, because you're going to lose relationships with players. Agents aren't going to want to talk to you. You really think if, let's say for some reason a William Nylander chance to Boston could happen, right? That's the same agent, and you disrespected Jeremy Swayman already. There's no shot in hell you're getting William Nylander. So you got to look real hard at who you're fucking with, because that right there could be the end of everything. Your relationship with the player, agent, now potentially your owner, if Swayman decides, I want to trade. Because if you're going to put your franchise cornerstone piece on blast like that, I I don't see why Swayman would be in the wrong for requesting a trade. If an 8x8 wasn't indeed brought up, I don't see a world where he's in the wrong for being like, hey, I want out. You disrespected me. So I completely side with Jeremy Swayman here if he does say, I want to trade.
Now, you brought up a good point. You said something about, with the third liner example, you brought up a good point of how, I could easily replace you. Is Swayman easily replaceable?
Not at all.
Now. No.
Not at all.
And
there is not a goaltender in the league that is the same age as Jeremy Swayman that has proven as much as Jeremy Swayman, I think.
Yes. Well, there's goalies that are, obviously goalies.
There's younger goalies who have higher ceilings probably, but they haven't been proven NHL-wise yet.
Yes, exactly. And I think this really shows like how catastrophic this has been for Boston. Like, you trade away Linus Ullmark on the day of Game 7 of the Finals for what looks like a fleece right now. Can't deny it. Like, maybe some things will play out in Boston's favor. Maybe Korpisalo looks good. Maybe Dean Letourneau, the guy they drafted, becomes solid. But right now, it's a fleece. It is. And you trade him away in what was a fleece, and you don't have the certainty that your goalie's locked up, and now you're in this dispute, and now you have Joonas Korpisalo, who was horrendous last year in Ottawa, as your starting goalie. I think this is all around just a complete disaster. It's been horribly managed by Boston. I understand they want to be conservative with their contracts. They don't want to give up so much money. They have so much money to sign Swayman. They could have gotten this done so easily. And additionally, too, I understand this might not be that great of an example, but when you look in terms of like what they did this past free agency, like they brought in Lindholm and Zadorov for such expensive contracts. And then suddenly, like, they bring in them for such expensive contracts, and they don't pay attention to Swayman, and now they're in this situation right now. So we'll leave it at this. Carter, does your overall opinion on Boston change if Swayman is out for a certain amount of time? Like, let's start with this. If he's out for the first 2 months of the season, how are you feeling?
I think that you're going to look at Boston losing more games. I think that's a statement. Are they going to get to the position that I kind of have them predicted? Probably not. If you're without your number one goaltender, you'll steal some wins, but you're not going to win games with Korpisalo or who's the young goalie?
Brandon Bussi.
Bussi, yeah. Yeah, you're not going to win. You're not going to win games with Joonas Korpisalo and a goaltender who has barely played NHL hockey. You need Jeremy Swayman, and you need him in that lineup because he's going to be the reason you're going to win some fucking hockey games this year.
What if Swayman's out for the season?
Oh, Swayman's out for the season. I don't see them. They might make playoffs. I don't see them getting any further than 5 games into the first round.
Yeah. Probably, to be honest.
Like, so, I think that roster is talented enough to make it to the playoffs, but I don't see this roster as being good enough to get anywhere past 5 games without Swayman.
Now, it seems like a lot of the fan base, we don't know how the team feels, is on Jeremy Swayman's side, but what if the Bruins start off hot? Like, what if they go like 10-2 through their first 12 games of the year? There's going to be a good chance where they're going to be like, we don't need Swayman, and things could get very ugly on that end. But again, if they start off really bad, it's gonna be a lot of noise in Boston. 100%.
Well, let's say they start off hot, right? Let's say Swayman's out for a month, and let's say they lose 2 games in that month, and they're saying we don't need Swayman. Now look at it from, what if you had Swayman? Do you lose those 2 games? Do you win all those games? Maybe, maybe not. You never know. Maybe you start the first month undefeated, right? You don't know when you have a goaltender like Jeremy Swayman and you lose 2 games without him. That's got to put into perspective, whoa, what could we be doing with Jeremy Swayman right now?
It's true. That's very true. I didn't really think of that. But there's going to definitely be a portion of the fan base who's going to be like, we don't need you and this and that. So... yeah, I don't know. We're going to see what happens there with Swayman. That's going to be really interesting. Let's move on to the preseason. Carter, it's the preseason. be honest with me. Have you watched a single game?
I don't have access to really watch any of the games. I've watched highlights. Trust me, I've watched a lot of Matvey Michkov, and yeah, that's about it. I've watched Michkov. I've watched every Michkov goal, and that's it. That's all I paid attention to right now.
Yeah, I get that too. I went to a game, but I haven't watched anything.
Yeah.
You won't catch me turning on a preseason game. Actually, that's a lie. I did turn on a preseason game the very first night they were on.
Mhm.
It was a Buffalo Sabres versus Pittsburgh Penguins game, and it was a freaking blowout for Buffalo.
Yeah.
And Pittsburgh had like nobody in the lineup. But I saw Jesse Pugliarvi rip 2 nasty ones and have a hat trick. I'm like, come on, get this kid on the roster right now. So I thought that was pretty funny. I kind of forgot he was still in the league, to be honest with you. But anyways, getting to mainly what I was talking about. There have been a lot of injuries in this preseason, specifically to players on the Montreal Canadiens and even the Ottawa Senators as well. So I want to start out with the Patrick Laine altercation. So basically, Patrick Laine is going to be out 2 to 3 months with an ankle injury, I believe. Let me actually look up the exact. Yeah, so he's out with a left knee, but he's not going to require surgery on that knee. So it's a lot better than expected when you look at the hit. It's hard to break down the hit with just like my voice, but basically Laine's coming into the zone. Nick Cedric Pare, not Pear, Cedric Pare, injured him with a knee-on-knee hit. Now, whether or not you want to say that's intentional or not, I hope that Laine is okay. It's actually devastating because, honestly, we were very high on Laine. Carter loves Patrick Laine.
That's my guy. That's my fucking guy.
He is devastated at this, I'm sure. But Carter, when you look at that play, you might want to look at it again. I sent it in the group chat. But do you think that it was, first off, I'll start with this. Was it intentional?
Okay, so I've watched a little bit of it. Kind of from what I have, from what I can kind of. Did you send it?
I think I did.
I only see the Kirby Doc one.
Oh, my apologies. I did not send it to you. Hang on a second.
That's okay. Sorry, guys. Technical difficulties. I know kind of what happened, but I want to have the footage so I can know.
Okay, here you go.
At least kind of what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So
there you go.
from what I gathered from it, he's trying to get around. Yeah, he's breaking in. I think they're on the power play, right?
I think so. I didn't watch the game.
So he gets through, and from the look of it, so he kind of breaks down. What's the guy's name again? Paquette?
Cedric Pare.
Pare.
You say Pare. I said Pare in my video.
Yeah. Okay, so Pare. So he's kind of lined up, almost feet spread, like as what you wouldn't want a defender to do in soccer, is be able to go right between the legs. So he does that, and Laine tries to step out, and it almost looks like Pare goes from like this, and then flips into like a lunge almost. So that knee goes out. So my thought is, was it intentional? Probably not. I don't see this as being intentional. I was listening to 32 Thoughts, literally earlier today while I was working. And, you know, from what Elliot was saying and from what Kyle Bukoskis was saying and kind of stuff that I've seen and read, I don't think it was intentional. That knee is definitely out, and it could be suspension worthy, but obviously he didn't get one. But I could see it as being a suspension or not. But he's trying to make it so Laine can't get around him, but put your hands up or like shove him or something or get in his way. You don't want to go after the knee, especially to a guy who's had knee injuries in the past.
Listen, this guy's an AHLer. Not Laine. Pare is an AHLer. Carter, I bet you didn't know who Pare was before this happened. I didn't know who Pare was before this happened.
Yeah,
it looks unintentional to me. It's definitely dirty though.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that, Pare could have definitely did that situation a little bit differently. He could have, like, he looks like when you watch the replay, it looks like he's just like gliding, just kind of standing
Yeah,
there.
like he
You know
glides,
how,
he glides
yeah,
forward like legs spread, and then when Laine goes to go around, he like lunges and does try and like play the body with his hands, but it's just too much knee is sticking out.
yeah, it's too much. It was a lot of knee contact.
Mm-hmm.
Not a lot of other, like with his hands and stuff. But again, like honestly, it's definitely, I think it's unintentional, but it's definitely dirty for sure. Like LeBlanc brought up a good point. You know how like they try and block NBA players from shooting in the NBA. This kind of seems like that with the way Pare positions himself, but it absolutely sucks. Now something came out today about how Pare did text Laine and say that he's sorry for it, and it wasn't, and he said that it wasn't intentional, which is good on him for sure. I think that's what you need in hockey with injuries like that. So thankfully, it wasn't as bad as it looked, because it when you look at it, it looked like it was going to be really bad. Like he could have been out for the season, but at this rate, he's probably He's probably going to be in the lineup by either late December, early January, maybe earlier than that. So that's good news for Montreal for sure. They get someone who they've been really high on, and Laine too apparently was really happy to play there. Like, I saw some press conferences from St. Louis. He was saying that he's really happy to be there. He looks like he's really excited, and yeah, it really sucks. And I hope Laine is okay. Now let's move into the next one here, involving Montreal again. Now I believe I sent this to the group chat, Carter. But let's start off with the Kirby Dach hits. So Kirby Dach's coming into the zone, and Ridley Greig gives him a little bit of a late hit. To me personally, I don't see head contact here in the angles that I've seen. At least I don't really see any head contact, unless like Ridley Greig and Dach's like kind of heads might bump a little bit. It looks like a clean hockey hit if it wasn't late. And Greig got a 2-minute penalty for that, which I think is deserved for sure. So, Carter, looking at that Greig hit, do you see anything that makes you disagree with me, or do you see anything that kind of pops out to you?
Late, 100%.
Yes, it's definitely late. I'm not arguing that.
It's late. It from the angles I've seen. It's. I wish like I just need the angle of the other side, because the only angle that we have is of the back. We can only see the back side of Greig. I think if we could see the front, it might make it a little easier. He definitely does kind of get up and get towards that head and neck area. So definitely dirty, and I can see why Dach would be pissed off. But that Arber one is worse by a mile.
Yeah, the Arber one is definitely much worse. So again, Arber Xhekaj, we forgot to mention that he had some controversy in the game against the Leafs, where he decided after Laine got hurt, I'm gonna kill Pear, and went behind. Literally, like when you watch the clip, Xhekaj comes up from behind and starts like beating the shit out of him from behind. And I think that, obviously Xhekaj got fined for it, rightfully so. But I thought that was absolutely unacceptable. That is dirty. That is not a hockey play whatsoever. But the one against Stu was definitely a lot worse. Now, there have been some angles. Like I made a video. It actually kind of blew up. It has like 2,000 likes, like 400 comments. But trying to flex my TikTok. But I mean, I look at that hit, and initially I thought that it was head contact. I look at some of the other replays now. It shows that Xhekaj hit Stu's hands, which kind of made Stu like kind of go like this and hit himself in the face. Now, again, I understand that, but first off, that hits late. Stu doesn't have the puck, and I think that we know what Xhekaj was going for there. Come on, Carter. We know what Xhekaj was aiming for there.
Oh, 100%.
We know what he was going for it. Even if it didn't turn out that way, which is probably why there was no suspension.
Yeah.
Probably why. I saw some people saying, George Parros played for Montreal, so therefore there's no suspensions for Montreal. That might be the case, but I don't think that's it here. Had Xhekaj hit Stu in the head directly, I think that probably would have been a good suspension there. But I think when I look at it now, I don't think it was. But we know what Xhekaj was going for. But Carter, I've seen some people saying that Arber Xhekaj should be taken out of the league, should be sent down to the AHL. Do you think that he is someone who should not be in the league? He's kind of like a Matt Rempe, to be honest with you.
So, I think I'll say this. I think he's a guy you want on your team and a guy you don't want to play against. He's a guy who sticks up for his teammates. He's a guy who seems like he'd be amazing to be around. But he is a guy who, if you piss off, you do not want to see him coming. So,
yes.
One thing that I saw, Elliot Friedman was talking about this, and so there was something involving Max Domi, and he cross-checked someone on the Montreal Canadiens, and blatant, and it was missed or something like that, and Xhekaj didn't do anything, and apparently he was getting like ripped online, social media, everywhere. People were like, he's not even, like, he's supposed to be our protector. Why is he not doing that? So part of me feels like that was fueled of the fire in him as well. To go out and do that to Para or Perry or the guy. Sorry, I feel bad for messing up this guy's name, but he went out, did that, and then it's like, well, fuck, like he just completely belted this guy for no reason. And but you got to look at it as he was getting ripped online. He's supposed to be the protector. He didn't protect, and now he's showing he's like, I got to protect now. He's like, this might be a little overkill, but I got to show that these guys that are wearing these Montreal Canadiens sweaters, those are my boys. This is my family. I got to protect them. And I think that he just took it a little too far with that. I don't think he should be gone and assigned to the A. If you really think he's going to go to the A and be any different, just start eating your crayons now.
He's already getting paid a significant amount of money. He got a pretty good contract by Montreal this past offseason, so he isn't going anywhere, I don't think. And again, like when you look at Montreal's decor right now, it's weak. It is weak. So hopefully we're gonna see where that goes. I have a feeling Arber Xhekaj getting a full-time NHL role, we're going to see some controversy this year. We're going to see some hits. We're going to see some fights. One thing that I am looking forward to a little bit, Carter, Arber Xhekaj versus Matt Rempe. Even better yet, Arber Xhekaj versus Nick Delorier.
That is, no. Rempe versus Xhekaj, that is box office right there.
Yes, that is going to be that's going to be fun to watch. That'll be one.
I need like someone on the Rangers and someone on the Canadiens to have something happen just so the two of them end up getting on the ice. So I don't think they'll just fight just to fight. I think something has to happen. But
yeah, again, obviously they're not just going to start fighting, but I think that Xhekaj is going to cause a lot of controversy this year. And we're going to see it. It's going to be fun. Also, David Reinbacher got injured in the same game as Laine. He is unfortunately out 5 to 6 months. He's probably done for the year, which sucks for a guy like Reinbacher. And all of this happened in a preseason game too. And this is not the only instance where things like this have been happening. So I have a list here of players who have been hurt in the preseason in a certain way. Credit to Liam on Twitter. We talked about this on the Nord and Block podcast last episode. But again, this might be a little bit outdated because I think a few of these guys, it turned out that they're actually okay. Like I think Stu, Shabbat, and Tkachuk are okay. But Carter, this is the list of the players who are injured in the preseason. Artemi Panarin, Ryan Lindgren, David Reinbacher, Patrick Laine, Macklin Celebrini, Tim Stutzla, Thomas Shabbat, Brady Tkachuk, and Drew Doughty. Yeah, I think that with the injuries, and there's already been talks about, maybe they're going to shorten the preseason. I think this should do it. They should absolutely shorten the preseason after this. Got to be honest with you. So I personally think, and I said this in a video, I personally think that the preseason should be around 4 to 5 games because you get a chance to play your A and B squad twice, maybe even 3 times for one of them. So that's kind of how I see this. But Carter, if you were to change the length of the preseason or get rid of it completely, what do you think you would do? And by the way, the fantasy started.
Yeah, I know. McDavid went first. I'm taking Matthews at the second spot. That's my guy. That's who I wanted. All right. Anyways, I'm gonna get back to what we were talking about here. You're on the clock here next.
Loading in.
So, I think that it's hard to figure out how you're gonna shorten the preseason. It's hard to figure out. Because you want a chance for your A and B squad to play, obviously, but it's really hard to do in such a short span, and it's hard to get a full sample size of what your guys are going to do while playing the game. So you need as many games as you can, but you can't just not play them, right? So
If you're not going to put them in preseason, you should really limit the games your stars play in.
Yeah,
they should really only play maybe 1 to 2 preseason games.
I think
let the guys experiment and try to make the team.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a hard subject to try and figure out. So I'm not going to be the one to try and say it, but I think it's something that the NHL will have to look at. But I mean, injuries happen. It sucks that it happens in preseason, but you got to keep in mind that this stuff can also happen in the regular season. So, yeah.
So there's also talks apparently with the CBA, and I want to end it with this. They're talking about reducing the preseason to 4 games, but Carter, they're going to add 2 games to the regular season to make it 84 game season. What are your thoughts on that?
No. I would
Why?
rather keep it at 82. I think 82 is the perfect sample size. You get 41 at home, 41 on the road. I like. Would it be great to have 2 more regular season games? Yeah, but that could just be 2 more games that don't really mean much, right? It's not like you're gonna add 2 more games late into the year where everything matters, right?
Right.
It's just, in my opinion, I think you should stick with the 82. If you want to shorten the preseason, right? Try and figure out a way to do that. Make it fair for everyone. Go for it. That'll work. But you can't. I don't want to see 2 more games because the NFL did it, and now it makes records kind of hard. So from a record perspective and everything like that, I like the 82. It keeps it the same kind of for everything. And, yeah.
I mean, they did originally have it at 84 games a few years ago. Well, not a few years ago, but a couple of, like, 20 years ago or something like that. But they had it at one point in the NHL, but they obviously reduced it to 82. I'm against it, and I think you guys might know why. You guys have listened for 73 episodes. Some of you have. You guys probably know by now we're pretty much primarily a players podcast. I got to be honest. I think that personally, like, it's already a long and grueling season as it is. I think you should just keep it at the same length and try and not fill your pockets, because I don't know if players are really going to be too keen on playing even 2 more games at the cost of, reducing the preseason, because, these guys are already ready for playoffs as well. And I honestly think too, that when you look in terms of, like, you expand the draft, I think that you're going to see a lot of load management from a lot of teams. So that's something I want to keep in mind there as well. But yeah, that took a little bit longer than I thought to talk about. But let's move on from that. Let's kind of talk about some other news around the NHL. Nothing too big. But Carter, I do want to get your thoughts on Cole Perfetti signing a 2-year, $3.2 million deal. Again, we have not made a podcast since he was signed. But Carter, well, we might have. But Carter, how do you feel about that deal?
Our boy's back.
Are you worried?
That's about it. Our boy's back. I'm happy. I'm
Were you worried?
Was I worried? No, I don't think I was worried. I was happy to see that he signed. I needed him here, and I'm just glad he signed. I think 3.25 is nice, or was it 3.5?
3.25.
3.25. So I think 3.25 is perfect for him. As much as I would have liked to get him at long term, I'll take it. I'm happy. I'm a happy guy. I will take this. So I'm glad.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a good contract for him. Also, Rasmus Dahlin was named the Buffalo Sabres captain. I like this. I think I had Darlene. I don't really remember. I might have had Tage Thompson at one point, but I like Darlene. Darlene's perfect. Good leader, good player. So I think that's a good as well. Tyson Berry signed a 1-year, $1.25 million deal today. He was on a pro tryout with the Calgary Flames. He is now signed by them for a season. It's a good signing, to be honest. He got his money's worth. And also, one more thing to wrap up. Actually, we got two more things. Yuri Patera was claimed on waivers from Boston or by Boston from Vancouver. So they got another goalie in their system. That can make Bruins fans very excited about what's coming with Swayman. So, yeah, definitely a little bit worrisome there. I do want to wrap up with one more thing. I might be missing something, but I'm going to go check my other news outlet. But there's rumors that Rutger McGroarty, and Carter will love this, there's rumors that Rutger McGroarty might be starting the season in the American Hockey League. Now, for those who do not know, Carter is a Winnipeg Jets fan and was very upset about Rutger McGroarty leaving and was a little bit was high on him on Pittsburgh, but I think he's going to have a field day talking about this. So, Carter, as I pull up Rutger McGroarty's preseason stats, how are you feeling about this?
He's got no defensive side of his game.
He doesn't.
That was one of my biggest knocks on him coming out of college, was his defensive side, from everything that I have heard, was not very good. And that's done now. He's potentially going to the AHL to work on the defensive side of his game, which, as I said, does need work.
Yep.
But yeah.
Yep.
And nothing else to say.
He has played 5 preseason games, has no goals and 2 assists. So, yeah, it's kind of been a hard go of things. And we thought he was going to be one of those young kids that could make the team and be exciting, but nope. He's actually going to end up probably playing for the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins, which means I'm probably going to see him in person at some point because I do go to AHL games regularly. All right, moving on from that, Carter, I want to get into the Amazon series. This is exciting. This is so effing exciting. Carter, you know it's going to be exciting when there are teams that come out and say, hey, Amazon, can you take this clip out? Can you take this out? Can you take that out? And Amazon said, nope, we're keeping it all in. So we're going to find out a lot of things from these players. It's going to make it freaking exciting. And especially, too, 2 of the episodes are based upon the Stanley Cup Finals. And you've seen some of the clips of McDavid and Tkachuk and Skinner. Makes things so exciting, Carter. How are we feeling?
Oh, I'm pumped. I am pumped.
Yes.
From the McDavid clip that I've seen, it's exciting. I'm looking forward to it a lot.
Yes, it is going to be super fun. Now, I do want to mention that there is going to be they are going to be dropping it tomorrow, October 4th. So by the time you guys see this podcast or are listening, it's probably already out. But here are the 6 episodes that are being produced. First off, The Best of Rivals, featuring William Nylander and David Pastrnak. Episode 2, As Tough as It Gets, which featuring Jack Eichel and Philip Forsberg. Episode 3, Learning to Win, with Jeremy Swayman and Matthew Tkachuk. Episode 4, The Captains, featuring Quinn Hughes, Gabriel Landeskog, and Jacob Trouba. And then episode 5, Cup or Bust, featuring Leon Draisaitl, Connor McDavid, and Zach Hyman. And then Cup or Bust Part 2, featuring Connor McDavid and Matthew Tkachuk. Carter, this is like NFL quarterback in a way. And
this is going to be fun.
Excited. It's making me excited. And I think like when I look at this, I think a lot of this is taking place in the playoffs.
Yeah. So that's going to be exciting.
This is going to be, it's on Amazon Prime, by the way. It's only on Prime, so you can't really watch it anywhere else. But, man, I am excited. It's going to be fun, and I'm really looking forward to it. All right, Mr. Rochelle, I think it is time for our standings predictions for the 2025 season. These are our final predictions. This is the last thing we got to do before we head on out, and this is actually I guess, the last episode of season 2 of the podcast, and then season 3 will debut next week. So hope you guys are looking forward to it. All right. What division do you want to start off with?
That is a great. I'm good with either. You take the reins. You take the
Okay.
reins on this one.
All right, I want to start off. We're going to start off with the Pacific Division. So, Carter, we're going to do this in a certain order. We do it differently from our previous ones.
Mhm.
We're going to go number 8. You're going to say your number 8, then I'm going to say my number 8. You're going to say your number 7. I'm going to say my number 7. We're going to go that way.
Okay.
We can explain if we want a little bit, like we don't want to go like too in depth because we don't want this to be a 2-hour-long podcast again. But yeah, all right, let's get it going. Pacific. Let's start with number 8.
Number 8 in the Pacific Division, I got the San Jose Sharks.
Yeah, I got San Jose as well at number 8 too. I think honestly, like, they're going to be bad. They are, but they're going to be fun to watch this year. But they're still going to be bad. Number 7. This is when the debates start.
Anaheim Ducks.
Really? Okay, I have the Calgary Flames at 7.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right. Number 6.
I got Calgary at 6, but I have them like literally like in my full list. I have them like literally one spot away, so I think it's going to be tight between those two.
It's going to be a tight mid-off. Yeah, I have the Ducks at 6 as well. All right, so that's pretty consensus. No surprises yet, really. But number 5.
Number 5. My number 5 is the Seattle Kraken.
Okay, that is also my number 5 as well. Seattle, I think, will be exciting. I am predicting Beniers has a big breakout year. I'm really excited and looking forward to that. Number 4, Carter.
Number 4 is going to be the LA Kings.
I get the Vegas Golden Knights.
That's fair. I could see them.
Vegas. I think that them and LA are probably going to be neck and neck again unless LA kind of really takes off. But yeah, referring to number 3, I have the Kings at 3. So
yeah, my number 4, I got Vegas.
You mean number 3?
Yeah, 3.
Okay. All right. So yeah, kind of, we're pretty much the same, a few rotations. All right. Number 2.
Got the Edmonton Oilers.
Wow. Okay. And then I'm guessing number 1 is your Canucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have the Canucks at 2 and the Oilers at 1. Carter, you really still think that the Canucks can finish first after the goalie situation right now in Vancouver?
Took Edmonton to 7 with fresh goalie who had never played on this team before.
They did. It's true. I see your point, but I don't know. I don't know if I believe.
You are stacking up on forwards in this draft. My goodness.
We really?
Yeah, you got Hyman and Gensel.
Did I really?
Yeah.
Am I auto?
Yeah, you're on auto.
Oh, wonderful. Great, because I wasn't looking. Let's go to the Central Division.
All right.
Shout out to Jack at number 8.
I agree. Shout out Jack Polko, Chicago.
Yeah, number 8. I have Chicago.
Yep. Same.
Yeah, that's pretty obvious. They'll be better, but with Bedard, they're going to be better, but they're not going to be good. Number 7.
I got Utah.
Oh, you're a hater.
I'm sorry. My only gripe on it is it's a new kind of era, we'll say. Obviously, because they're in Utah now, so it's like I don't know. I need to see how Utah is gonna handle hockey.
I believe they're gonna pan out.
I think they'll do good, but it's this first season I'm a little worried about.
Okay. Number 6.
The St. Louis Blues.
Okay. I have the Minnesota Wild at 6.
Okay.
Number 5.
Number 5, I got the Minnesota Wild.
All right. Carter, I have the Utah Hockey Club at number 5. Might be my bias, might be because I'm really high on that D-core and the forwards, but I'm rolling with it. I don't care.
I think it's your bias, but that's okay. In my 4, I got the Nashville Predators.
Carter, I have the Winnipeg Jets.
That's okay.
But I'm going to say this. I think that them and my number 3, which is Nashville, are going to be like razor close to each other.
That's-
That Central is going to come down to the wire.
Yeah. That's the same thing I have. Is I have Winnipeg at 3, and I have them like right next to each other.
Okay, then yeah. So we're not that far off.
No.
All right, number 2.
Number 2, I got the Colorado Avalanche.
I like it. And number 1. Oh wait, why am I writing Blackhawks twice? Number 1.
Dallas Stars.
Yes. Figured that was going to be what's happened. All right, we're through the Western Conference. Carter, who is your number 1 in the West between Vancouver and Dallas?
Dallas.
Okay. Wonderful. All right, let's move on to the Metro. All right, Metropolitan. This will be a fun one. Number 8, Carter.
Columbus.
Yeah, I think that's very obvious. Sucks with what happened, but unfortunately, number 7.
Number 7, I have. Oh, I can't click anything right now. Number 7, I got the Islanders.
Okay. Number 7, I have Carter. Hear me out. Flyers.
It's okay. I don't expect us to be good this year, but just kind of how we started last year. I don't know. Have a little hope.
I can see us being good though.
I could see us being solid, but
yeah. Number 6.
I got the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Okay. I also have the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Solid.
Number 5.
Philly.
All right. I figured as much. I have the. Who do I have at 5? I have the Capitals at 5.
Mm-hmm. That's fair. I got the Capitals at 4.
All right. Yeah. I have the Islanders at 4. So we do have a few differences here in the Metro.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Top 3. Number 3, I have Carolina.
Number 3, I have New Jersey.
Ooh, okay. Number 2, I have New Jersey.
I got Carolina.
And then I'm assuming at number 1, you have the New York Rangers.
Yes. And you just auto-drafted Frederick Anderson.
Did I actually?
Yes.
He's not that bad.
No, he's not bad.
It's a little annoying that we're doing it during a podcast, but we kind of can't control it. So
can't control it, sadly.
All right, let's wrap up with the Atlantic. This is going to be a little bit of a rapid fire division predictions, but number 8, who do you got?
Number 8, I got. Hold on, I'm trying to find it here. At Ottawa.
Oh, here we go. The Ottawa hate continues.
The Ottawa hate continues. Yeah, but they're ahead of I have them at 26th overall. I think they're going to be good, but I think that Atlantic's really tight.
I have Montreal at number 8, especially with the injuries.
I got with the injury. I made this list is from before all the injuries. Sadly. So
okay. All right, number 7.
Buffalo. But if I could switch it, I would put Montreal at 7.
All right. I have Buffalo at 7 as well. Number 6.
This is where I'll put Buffalo. Because I'm just going to flip-flop them.
Oh, you are? You're going to put Montreal at 7?
Yeah, Montreal at 7. Oh,
right.
Gosh, dang it. I got on auto pick.
Yeah, I know. I was going to tell you.
Damn it, Fabian Zetterlund.
That's rough.
He's going to be a stud. I got a good feeling.
Yeah, number 6, I have I think I have Detroit at number 6.
Yeah. I could see that. I got Detroit at my 5.
All right. I have Ottawa at my 5. Number 4, I got Tampa.
I got Tampa.
All right. Number 3, I have Toronto. I'm going to go Toronto for now.
I got Toronto as well.
Number 2, I got Boston.
I got Boston.
Okay. And number 1, I have Florida.
Jinx, you owe me 10 grand.
Oh, okay. All right. So that is our final standings predictions for the 2024-25 season. I wrote them down just so I don't have to bug Carter again for them later. I'm actually going to bug Jack for them later. But Carter, let's go look at the MLB playoffs right now, how the Brewers are doing against the Mets, and then we'll wrap this episode up. Currently, at the time of recording, the Brewers are up 2-0 at the top of the 8th.
Jeez.
Love it. That is who's going to play the Phillies. But yeah, that does it for this episode of the NordCast. I almost said Nord and Block, but that does it for this episode of the NordCast. Episode 73 in the books. Next episode will be our season 3 start of the year. I can't believe this is our 3rd year doing it. It's kind of crazy to think. Feels like just yesterday we made our first episode, and now we're at 74 next episode. So that's kind of crazy to think. But Carter, anything you want to plug? Anybody you want to shout out? Anything you want to talk about before we wrap this up?
I got nothing. Go Flyers. Go Jets.
Go Flyers.
I don't know. I don't know much to say.
Yeah, we'll see. We're going to definitely implement some stuff next episode. We're going to bring back Jack's Guest a Player. That is hopefully returning if Jack is here. We're going to bring back some other stuff. We're going to bring back the trending players with Carter. We're going to bring back Carter's Game of the Week as well.
Yes.
We're going to bring back a lot of stuff. And then we're actually going to start doing some other interviews and other things that are going to come. So we got a lot of content coming for you guys. Carter's got his finger on
I
it.
got one last thing. This was something that me and Nordic, we made, but I don't think he's posted anything about it yet. If you guys have the sports app Reel, one of my favorite sports apps, I use it for everything, hockey, football, baseball, probably the best sports app out there, not sponsored, wish I was. But we have a NordCast picks group, where every day we're going to post some picks, for NHL games. We'll do every game or maybe just some games kind of thing. But it's another way for you to connect with us. I don't know if Nordic wants to do anything with it on a Nordic 97 side of anything, but that's there. It's a NordCast picks group. We'll plug it somewhere. I don't know. You could probably just
make a ad.
Yeah, you'll probably throw some sort of graphic up there. But if you do want to join it, I think it's just called NordCast Picks on Reel.
I'll actually put the link in the description of this podcast.
Yeah, so if you want, it's in the description. If not, just look up NordCast Picks. The picture is just our logo. And yeah, it's another way for you to connect with us, share your picks. But yeah, it's going to be something that, we'll keep track of, and maybe whoever has the best record by the end of the season will get some. I don't know, maybe
get 10 grand that I owe Carter
straight out of Nordic's pocket,
straight out of my bank account. Yeah, like I definitely don't have $10,000. I might be in debt of 10,000. No, I'm kidding.
Why?
But yeah, that'll do it for this episode of the NordCast. Thank you guys for watching or listening. We really do appreciate it. And yeah, this concludes season 2 and the off season as well. Carter, I do got to ask you one more thing. I know we keep dragging this on. What has been your favorite interview that we did this past summer? We brought a lot of people on.
I'd have to say Arda. I loved having him on.
Yeah, Arda was pretty great. Our interviews with Seth were awesome too.
Yeah, but we didn't interview him over the summer.
Yeah, we didn't. That sucks. We got to bring him on at some point.
He's coming. He'll come back.
He will come back. Trust me. He's going to be on. But we do have another interview, hopefully in the books that might drop next week. So be excited for that. But anyways, that does it for us. Thanks for watching or listening. We'll see you guys later. Thank you guys so much for watching or listening to yet again another episode of the NordCast. If you enjoyed, please subscribe down below or follow us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. If you want to follow us on TikTok, we are at NordCast. If you want to follow us on Instagram or Twitter, follow at NordCast_. That'll do it for this episode. I'm Nordic. Thanks for listening from all the crew, and we'll see you guys in the next episode.